Many people living in Taipei may have passed by this Chunghwa Telecom office building without knowing it used to be Taipei Prison, or that prisoners of war were held here by the Japanese government during World War II. On this day, Taiwan POW Camps Memorial Society brought together veterans and others in a remembrance ceremony to commemorate the 14 prisoners and their sacrifice 75 years ago. From the fall of 1944 to the spring of 1945, the Allies, mainly the U.S. Army, Air Force, and Navy, bombed military bases in Taiwan. Due to bad weather, enemy fire, or air battles, several planes were shot down or crashed and their crews taken prisoner. A total of 25 American airmen were held in the prison that used to be here. The downed airmen were not considered by the Japanese to be prisoners of war, but rather war criminals. They suffered greatly, with little food, solitary confinement, severe beatings, and other inhumane treatment, according to the Memorial Society. Its founder and director, Canadian expat Michael Hurst, said the 14 captured American soldiers were given a mock trial and found guilty, but they had no defense, and the case against them was built on evidence coerced or fabricated by the Japanese. They were executed by firing squad on June 19, 1945, less than 2 months before Japan surrendered.
Without warning or time to prepare, on Tuesday, June the 19th, 1945, they were herded from their cells and they were marched into the prison execution ground, this exact area whereupon we are now standing. I'm sure it's difficult for us to imagine the fear and the terror in the eyes and hearts of those young men as they awaited the final moments of their already too brief young lives. Most were only 20 to 24 years of age. One man, John Parker, turned 20 less than a month after he was shot down. He was a carefree lad who loved life every day, according to his brother Charles, who with his 2 sons visited Taiwan for our first of many memorial services here at the wall in 2005. As the hoods were placed over their heads, shutting out the early morning daylight, they likely said goodbye to their buddies before the final shots were fired. These brave young men gave their lives in the service of their country, for the ideals and the freedoms that we all cherish and enjoy today. May we never forget them and what happened here at this very spot in Taipei those 75 years ago.
After the war ended, the Japanese who carried out the executions were prosecuted at the Allied war crimes trials, found guilty of needlessly executing POWs, and sentenced to life in prison. Although some justice was done, it could not bring back the lives of those young men. Speakers at the memorial service included veterans, a Chunghwa Telecom official, an acting commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, a representative from the Republic of China's Veterans Affairs Commission, former Taiwanese Defense Minister Feng Shiquan, and a Navy liaison officer representing the American Institute in Taiwan. They spoke of the importance of never forgetting the sacrifices of the soldiers who fought for the cause of freedom. They joined the war despite knowing the dangers, enduring hardships and suffering unspeakable horrors as prisoners, while some also had an agonizing and frightful death. Their families also suffered, losing sons and brothers. All that remains as a reminder of what the POWs went through is this plaque on the wall of the old prison. It was completed in 2009 by the Society, with the help of Taipei City Government and the AIT. It is hoped that memorial services like this will not only serve as a fitting commemoration for the soldiers and their sacrifice, but also teach younger generations about this period of history so it is never repeated. CNA Taipei.